Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're decoding a new report from Goldman Sachs on a company that's right at the heart of the AI revolution, but maybe in a way you wouldn't expect. So let me start with a question for you. When you think about AI, you probably think about data, right? Or algorithms, maybe even robots. But what is the single biggest physical byproduct of all that digital thinking? You got it. All those processors, all those chips running these incredibly complex AI models, they generate a truly staggering amount of heat. And dealing with that heat, well, it's not just an inconvenience. It's one of the single biggest engineering challenges the entire tech industry is facing right now. And that is where a company called Envicool comes in. Their entire business is built around this one problem: precision cooling. And according to this new report, as the world of AI gets hotter, their business is absolutely on fire. So the big headline from their latest quarterly results is just explosive growth. But how big of a jump are we actually talking about here? Their revenue shot up by a jaw-dropping 70% compared to the same time last year. In the financial world, that kind of year-over-year growth is it's huge. It really gets people's attention. And here's the really interesting part. This performance wasn't just good, it completely shattered what the experts predicted. The company beat the financial forecasts by more than 20%. That tells you that the demand for what they do is picking up steam even faster than the pros thought. Okay, so where is all this growth actually coming from? Well, the report breaks it down into three key business areas. Think of them as three growth engines that are just firing on all cylinders. So you've got their main business, which is data center cooling. Then you have the really cutting-edge stuff, liquid cooling. And finally, cooling systems for the rapidly growing energy storage market. Let's dig into each one. So, engine number one, their traditional data center cooling business. This isn't just growing, it's actually accelerating. It went from 47% growth last year to 58% in just the first half of this year. The report also mentions a massive backlog of orders, which is a pretty good sign this demand isn't slowing down anytime soon. Now for the second engine, liquid cooling. The easiest way to think about it is like this. If traditional cooling is like an air conditioner for a whole room, liquid cooling is like a super high-performance radiator that's attached directly to the hottest parts of a computer's brain. It's becoming absolutely essential for the most powerful AI chips that generate the most heat. And listen, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky future tech. The report makes it very clear that the major players, we're talking about the people who actually make the chips and build the servers, are buying and using Envicool's liquid cooling stuff right now, in huge volumes. And that third engine is cooling for energy storage systems, the giant batteries that are helping to power our electrical grids. That part of the business also saw an impressive 35% jump in sales. So you can see here how all three of these engines are contributing to the company's revenue pie. But it wasn't a totally perfect quarter. The report's headline actually used the phrase margins mixed, which is analysts speak for, hold on, the profitability side of the story is a little more complicated. So to get this, we just need a quick definition of gross profit margin. In the simplest terms, it's the percentage of money a company has left over from a sale after subtracting the direct costs of making the product. The higher the margin, the better. And here's the catch. Envicool's gross profit margin actually went down. The report points to two main reasons. First, a shift in their product mix, which basically means they sold more of their less profitable stuff. And second, something the report calls heated competition in China, which can often lead to price wars that squeeze everybody's profits. All right, let's zoom out for a second. Beyond all the quarterly numbers, why does a company like this really matter in the big picture? What's the long-term story here? What's so interesting is that Envicool's business is sitting right at the intersection of three of the biggest trends that are shaping our entire world right now: the constant growth of the digital economy, the absolute explosion of generative AI, and the global push to cut carbon emissions and use our energy way more efficiently. And that gets to the core idea in the report. The thinking is that as our demand for computing power just keeps going up and up, any technology that helps improve energy efficiency becomes absolutely critical. It stops being just about making things faster. It becomes about making them smarter and a whole lot less wasteful. Of course, no report would be complete without looking at the potential speed bumps. And Goldman is pretty clear about the risks that could be on the horizon for Envicool. The report basically highlights three main hurdles, and they all really boil down to market forces. What if competition gets even tougher? What if this new liquid cooling tech doesn't catch on as fast as everyone hopes? And what if their biggest customers just decide to tighten their belts and slow down their spending? And that kind of brings us to our final thought here. The story of Envacool isn't just about one company's quarterly earnings. It's really a window into the massive, often invisible infrastructure that our digital lives depend on. And it leaves us with a really important question. As we build this incredible digital future, what is the true cost in energy and in innovation of just keeping it all cool?